All right, thank you for staying with KTN Prime. So there's a lot of confusion. We have 40 million Kenyans out there. You have two political functions. You have President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was just declared the winner of the repeat presidential election. You have NASA leader Raila Odinga actually making it very clear that he will not recognize that presidency. And in between, you have these millions of Kenyans who are just hoping for a way forward out of this whole debacle. So let's have a conversation with the Bishop David Oginde, a presiding bishop at Christ is the Answer Ministries. Bishop, thank you so much for joining us on KTN Prime. So, like I mentioned, you have President Uhuru Kenyatta on one hand being declared the winner of the repeat presidential election, and on the other hand, you have NASA leader Raila Odinga saying, I will not recognize this presidency. You have millions of Kenyans caught in between. And before I have this conversation with you, I'd like us to listen to part of a sermon that you gave in church that did rounds all over social media.
Oh, my God.
Then we can have a conversation about this. Could you play that?
Oh.
Only the person who knows his or her God who can be still in the midst of trouble. I look at where we are as a nation, and I realize that many of us have focused in the wrong place. And we are caught up in this thing, oh, what is going to happen? We are stuck between NASA and Jubilee. Let me tell you, NASA and Jubilee can be removed by God, and you will see them no more forever. I don't know what that means to you. Uhuru can be removed by God right now, and will not see the election. Raila can be removed by God right now, and he will not see the election, because there's a God in heaven. And those of you who have chosen that you are going to rally behind these people and fight one another because of them, may you perish with them. May you go with them. Because we are not here for anyone. May you perish with them. Because Uhuru is not my God. Raila is not my God. And this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to God. And it is going to be here after they are gone. They are gone. We are not going to be taken captive by two people who are fighting for their own interests and causing us to fight one another. I refuse in Jesus' name. I refuse in Jesus' name. Where will you take me? You are not greater than the robbers who came to my house. God is our God, and this nation belongs to the Lord. It doesn't belong to anybody. If you are a Uhuru man, go with him. If you are a NASA man, go with him. And leave us alone. Because this is the nation of the Lord. How long shall we play around with the people of God? For how long? We must stop our playing around and know that this land belongs to our God. And we are not going to joke around. May God come through for us. Be still and know that I am Lord. And those of you who think that these people are your gods, God bless you.
Okay, so that did rounds on social media with so many people talking about it. So that was a couple of weeks before we had the repeat presidential poll. Looking at what's going on right now, Bishop, paint for me a picture of what Kenya looks like to you.
Well, Kenya is a very divided nation. It's a nation that is caught between the rock and a hard place. On the one hand, we are a people who want to move on with our lives. On the other hand, we are caught up in this situation where our political leaders have become our spokespeople. They determine our future. And so whatever we do, we still look up to them. And it's like they will do something that will help us. And so we are caught up in that situation where people are actually very anxious. As a pastor, I can tell you the number of messages I get, the number of tweets, the number of emails, people who call, people who stop me on the streets. And they're like, so Bishop, where are we going? The same question you're asking is what everybody is asking. And I don't think they're asking me as a bishop or as an Oginde. They're asking me, hoping that I have an ear to God that can tell them that this is what is going to happen.
Okay.
And from that perspective, I would say that this country is going to be okay.
That is so reassuring for millions out there. You have no idea how much. Okay, so...
This country is going to... The other day, we had a prayer service at church, just before the elections. And I believe that in that prayer service, God came through for us. And there's a text of the Bible that came to us that we read in that service. It's a fairly long one, but if you don't mind, I'll just read a portion of it.
Okay.
Because for us, it was very reassuring, at least for me and many people who were in that prayer service, it was very reassuring. It's found in Isaiah chapter 30, from verse number 19. It goes all the way to verse 26, but I will not go that far. But this is what it says. All people of Zion who are in Jerusalem, you will weep no more. How gracious he will be when you cry for help. As soon as he hears, he will answer you. And although the Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, your teachers will be hidden no more. With your own eyes, you will see them.
Okay.
Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. Okay,
so clearly, maybe there's a path that has been set out for this country. But I'd like to get your opinion as well on there have been calls on whether or not the two leaders should sit down and have a conversation, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, and you've referred to them even in your sermon. So before we do that, could we take a break and then we'll still go on with this conversation with the Bishop in studio?